What are you doing? You look like a headless... Is this the waltz of the headless duck? You look like a duck. Okay, no. I'm just gonna... Well, hi! How are you lovely and wonderful people doing that are hopefully not going to troll and flame me for trying to flame BlackLynk? All jokes and trolling aside, your people are probably wondering, who are you and what are you doing on my screen? Where is BlackLynk? Well, he asked me if I want to do a collab and I was like, yes of course ho, let's go. And we are going to be talking about why there are a lack of people of color or minority race in the furry fandom. Don't worry guys, it's not going to be that cringy. Anyway, him and I talked about a little bit and I came up with my own opinions and reasons as to why this could be. From my standpoint, it doesn't just involve those of color, it can be translated to just about anyone. I don't know, let's start. Number 1, the general upbringing and the person's background. This could correlate to just about anyone, but I believe this is definitely one of the reasons why there is such a severe lack of people of a minority race or what have you in the furry fandom. I'll use myself as an example. I am Hispanic, my parents are from Cuba. Obviously there's not really a lot of furries in Cuba. And yeah, those are actual pictures of Cuba. Anyway, from my family to just about anyone, a person could typically be raised to just be involved in normal, everyday stuff. Again, the definition of normal could be different from one person or another. Quite a number of people, especially those in the furry community, share stories of coming out as a furry and their parents looking at them as really weird. But what I'm saying is a lot of those come from traditional family households, and quite a number of them would expect things such as video games, stuff related to cartoons and what have you, to just kind of be outgrown by the time we are either teenagers to adults. Reason being is because that was the way they were raised, so they're pretty much raising a lot of them to be this way. It goes beyond just the raising from the parents, this goes beyond into the type of people that the person may hang out with. Goes beyond just being raised by particular parents or a traditional household. It can also go beyond into the type of people that influence them and the type of activities that influences the person as well. Quite obviously, the furry fandom is still, while it's grown large over the years, it's still vastly small compared to worldwide. So that's another contributing factor as to why there's just a lack of interest into the fandom as well. So, short end of it, because the way they were raised by their parents, or because of the influences and activities that they started to do as a child up to their adulthood. Also, let's not forget, there's quite a number of people, especially when they reach a certain age, they just lose interest in the furry fandom. It happens every day, so. And that can include anyone of any particular race. So that is reason number 1. Number 2, lack of interest in the furry fandom. Let's face it, not everyone's gonna like every single thing about the furry fandom. We have people that are not interested in any anthropomorphic characters, period. Related to just about any person of any race. It could be a person that is white or black or whatever, really. I mean, they either like the furry stuff or they don't. Also have to remember that, again, the furry fandom is while still a growing community and growing larger by the day, it's still pretty small. And there are a vast number of fandoms and activities and hobbies that we humans could get into. And the furry fandom falls into those millions upon millions of hobbies and activities that one person could get into. Now, here's one that I'm pretty sure BlackLynk is going to talk about. I'm not sure if he is, but I am going to talk about a little bit, but I'm kind of opposed to it somewhat. You'll get what I'm talking about when I start talking about it. Reason number 3 brought up by BlackLynk, being afraid of being picked on by their peers, and that's specifically to those of color, but honestly that could be just about anyone as well. While I do agree somewhat that could be one reason, I also, especially nowadays, find it kind of hard to believe that could be a reason why. I really don't want to get into this, but I'll state it. quite a number of people of color, those that are either of a black and white mixing, or those that are black, or those who are like me and her Hispanic but are mixed as well. The communities that we tend to come from, or what I did, pretty much shun it to the 9th degree level towards the sun, come from those that just simply don't even understand half of the shit that we're into. I use myself as an example. Growing up, I was, beyond popular belief, quite quiet. During school, middle school specifically, I was severely overweight. During that time, I did not even know the furry fandom existed. Anyway, obviously I'm a person of color, regardless of what comes out of my mouth. But the fact that I was overweight at the time caused a chain reaction to the type of person that I delve into, which leads back to my previous reason, or the one before that, as to why there are a lack of people of color in the fandom. I was picked on severely by peers that were of color as well, along with the racial mixings and what have you. And that led me to isolate myself from those type of people that seemed close-minded or pretty much dim-witted, for the lack of a better term. And throughout high school, I pretty much did the same thing, even though I lost the weight. Again, that was before I even started to think that I was a furry or into the furry fandom. But the thing that I'm trying to point out is, I actively made sure that I surrounded myself with people that, regardless of what I am or what I do, they'll be fine with it. So at one point I can understand, but another point is, why would you waste your time? Why would you surround yourself with those type of people? In some instances, however, which I can agree with, especially given what BlackLynk has shared, sometimes it is unavoidable. You are going to be surrounded sometimes, inevitably, by people that won't accept you, that won't like what you do and what type of hobbies you do. So that instance can lead to someone to simply hide the fact they're into the fandom. Given how much times have changed with just the last decade or two, I can also agree with and respect his opinion on as to why there are a lack of people of color in the fandom. Another one, or possibly the last one, depends on how the video is doing. This last one, I'm guessing BlackLynk is going to elaborate on it a little bit more. It can actually be tied into the last one that I mentioned, but the reason why there could be somewhat of a lack of people of color in the fandom is because, well, we don't know that they're like me and BlackLynk. What I'm saying is, a lot of the social media accounts I see are filled with either the person in their fursuit or a drawing of their fursona. Because of this, that's more than likely the reason why we don't really see a lot of people of color. Or maybe we think there are not many people of color, but that they're just hiding behind their persona, if you want to call it hiding or whatever. Now, here's one thing I kind of want to point out, guys. Facts are facts. Obviously, BlackLynk and I live in the United States. Obviously, there's a large percentage of those that are white that live in the United States, with the minorities in the severely low numbers, which are facts and which is, typical and normal. Now, tie into all the things I mentioned, all the things that BlackLynk is going to mention, plus the type of fandom that we're talking about here, a fandom that is still relatively new, regardless of how many years it's been around, and still growing. There's going to be significantly short numbers of people of minority races. That is that. Yes, this woman, this thing, whatever you want to call it, it's done. Way, man. I know you're tired of listening to me. Go on, click on the dislike button. Selfish self-promotion. Chapter 1 of Umo Beast Chronicles is available on several platforms. What is Umo Beast Chronicles? It is a fantasy/adventure comic that I have self-published the first chapter of on several platforms already. And I'm currently working on chapter 2, and I will have merchandise available soon on my website. It's funny because BlackLynk mentioned this in his little stream Dingamapooper where he was dancing like a headless duck. I would have t-shirts available. I actually do have them printed already, but I just have to kind of make sure the shipping and stuff. But yes, they will be available on my website. They bear the name of the card game that I was working on before. But yes, you can get these soon via my website. Just check it out. You can also subscribe to my channel because I will be mentioning this every time I do something and what have you. I do have a couple plans on the works. I'm thinking about doing a visual novel. I'm gonna have to plan it out, but I'm thinking about doing that. Anyway, for those that are interested in my art, you can kind of see the type of art that I do. If you're interested in seeing your persona or whatever character that you have in the comic-like style that I draw in, you are more than welcome to email me. That's the best way to reach out, or tweet at me via my Umo Beast Chronicles Twitter platform. And that's that. Take care and, well, stay whatever. I don't know. BlackLynk is on my YouTube channel. Go watch him. Oh my goodness, finally. I can finally drink this fucking bleach in peace.